talk about Judkins a little bit. It seems like you two disagree a little bit. Eli, you're a little higher on him. Dama, you're not quite so sold. Dama, why don't you kick us off there?
Yeah, so seemed to have good speed and acceleration. Seemed to be a bit of a violent runner. Had the right attitude, and overall, the word I kept coming back to was springy. And I think the reason I was considering him springy, I realized after a while, he runs very compactly. He's not necessarily a super short guy, but when he's running, you don't see his arms or his legs going too far out from the frame of his body. And so I think when he's keeping it so compact, when he gets hit, that just, that makes it very easy to shoot out a stiff arm or, just give a quick dead leg and, kind of absorb the hits. So that I really liked. But the more I watched him, the more I was waiting to see him hit a real good juke move, or just completely face someone up in the open field, run him over, spin around him, again, juke him, stiff arm him to the ground, whatever it may be. And it just never seemed like one on one in a closed space. He was in a closed space. He's very shifty. So when he hits the line and there's a linebacker who appears, he can kind of hop around him. But so another thing I had in my notes was that he doesn't make jump cuts so much. He makes hop cuts, and they're very quick and they can be effective in those close at the line of scrimmage spaces. But then when he gets into the open field against a safety or a corner, that little hop cut isn't going to work as much. He needs that real lateral movement from a juke. And he just didn't seem to do that at any point. And I kept watching him, and it seemed like he also doesn't really, like, his knees don't come up as high. And so that's going to hurt you too when it comes to changing direction. If you don't have that control where, you can just all of a sudden sink and change your direction real quick. When those knees are just low and running along the ground, like, yeah, he gets up to a good speed, but I think his change of direction ability may end at college. And again, he's an aggressive runner. Overall, he's fast, and he's got that compact style to where he's kind of springy. So he'll be able to find you some yards in the NFL, but to draft this guy thinking he's your future, I wouldn't trust it.